Good evening. Let me add a few words from the perspective of the ESM. First on Greece. As you heard, we had a meeting of the Board of Governors of the ESM to adopt the supplemental MOU for Greece. The Board of Governors, as you probably remember, is composed of the 19 euro area finance ministers, so it's the same group, but they changed their hats, and it's an important legal act. It's the highest decision-making body of the ESM. And the governor's decision today was necessary so that the Commission can sign the supplemental MOU on behalf of the ESM. And this is one important step towards the disbursement of the fourth tranche of 6.7 billion euro under the ESM program. Once Greece has completed all prior actions, and you know 2 are still pending, national procedures can be launched. This includes approval in a number of parliaments. After that, the ESM Board of Directors, composed of the euro area deputy finance ministers, would then have to approve the financial facility agreement in order to start our disbursements. And as I explained after the last Eurogroup in January, there will be a first sub-tranche of 5.7 billion euro, 3.3 billion euro for external debt payment, 1.9 billion euro to help Greece build up a cash buffer, and 1.5 billion euro for arrears clearance. With respect to arrears clearance, I'm happy to confirm that we received the data confirming that the agreed target for arrears clearance was achieved in December. And you may remember that the objective of the program as a whole is to reach zero arrears target by August. Given where we are now, I don't really anticipate that the ESM will be able to disperse this first sub-tranche before the second half of March. And after that, there's another disbursement of 1 billion euro planned for the purpose, again, of arrears clearance, provided the conditions are in place. I also want to mention that since the last Eurogroup meeting, we have noticed some positive market developments for Greece. 2 weeks ago, a new 7-year bond was issued successfully, raising 3 billion euro with a 3.5% yield. And the situation was further improved by the upgrade of Greece by the rating agency Fitch, which happened last Friday. I think these developments reflect a renewed market confidence based on the reform efforts of the Greek government under the current program. And as the Commissioner said, next week the institutions will travel back to Athens to start the next review. Briefly on Ireland, as you know, the ESM participated in the 8th post-program surveillance mission in the context of our early warning system. I share the views that Ireland's economic recovery over the last few years has been remarkable. Of course, there are challenges. They were mentioned by Pierre, so I will not repeat that. I share that view. But of course, we do not see any risk for the payments that are due to the EFSF over the next 12 months. On the topic of deepening of EMU, you heard already what we talked about. Many ministers support the position that the ESM should provide the backstop to the Single Resolution Fund. Also, they support an enhanced role for the ESM in crisis management, which includes negotiating and monitoring financial support programs. Ministers support a review of our toolkit. We are aiming at developing a cooperation framework with the European Commission. Pierre mentioned that, and I think it will be useful and also possible to sit together and to develop this cooperation framework to make clear that we have complementary roles, taking care of our respective responsibilities, avoiding duplication. I want to end with a final word on our funding activities, as I sometimes do. You remember that last month it was agreed that Spain would make an early repayment towards the ESM with 5 billion euro. This was approved by our board of directors earlier this month. And as a result, the funding needs of the ESM will be reduced by the same amount, because that's how we work. The amount of money we borrow in the markets is always exactly the same what we lend. So the ESM now plans to raise 18 billion euros this year, down from 23 billion euro. The combined funding needs of ESM and EFSF will therefore go down to 46 billion euros. Still a big amount, slightly smaller than 2017. It still puts us among the top issuers in euro-denominated bonds. More generally, the early repayment by Spain is good news because it boosts investor confidence in Spain, and also it increases the firepower of the ESM. Thank you.